The first thing I remember is the ceiling. White, perforated, humming faintly. I thought I was still in the office because fluorescent lights look the same everywhere when you're lying down. Then I tried to move my arm and something tugged back. ICU, the nurse explained it gently, as if embarrassment were contagious. Severe dehydration. Electrolyte imbalance. Cardiac stress triggered by exhaustion. I had fainted at my desk after 72 hours of pretending caffeine could replace sleep. You're lucky your coworker called it in quickly. She said, lucky. My parents arrived that evening. My mother stood at the foot of the bed like she was assessing damage to a rental car. My father kept checking his watch. You push yourself too hard. Mom said. You've always been dramatic about work. I wanted to explain that I wasn't being dramatic. I was being indispensable. Promotions don't fall out of the sky for second daughters. My sister Ava called on speakerphone. I could hear ocean in the background already. She and my parents had planned Hawaii for months. A milestone birthday for her. The golden one. You scared us, she said lightly. But they said you're stable. Right? Stable. Not serious. Not worth canceling flights. By the second day, the doctor said I would need monitoring for the week. My heart rhythm needed observation. Stress like mine didn't correct itself overnight. My parents stepped into the hallway to discuss logistics. They returned with careful smiles. We'll stay tonight, Mom said. Then we'll reassess. Reassess meant they left the next afternoon. Call if anything changes. Dad said, squeezing my shoulder like I was about to sit for an exam. That night, I scrolled through social media from my hospital bed. Ava posted a photo at sunset. My parents behind her, smiling widely, leaves around their necks. Caption. Family time is everything. I stared at it longer than I should have. The ICU at night feels different. Machines are louder. Nurses' shoes softer. You become aware of your own breathing like it's an assignment. On the third night, someone touched my hand lightly. I startled. Sorry. A voice whispered. Didn't mean to wake you. It was Daniel, my coworker. The one who had found me slumped over my keyboard. You didn't have to come, I said. He shrugged, pulling a chair closer. You didn't answer your emails. That worried me. He stayed 40 minutes. Talked about nothing important. The chaos at work. A client who mispronounced, spreadsheet. Ordinary things. When he left, I noticed he signed something at the nurse's station. The next night, he came again. Same time, same quiet presence. He never stayed past visiting hours. Never made it heavy. On the fifth day I asked the nurse, does he sign in every night? She smiled. Without fail, I felt something shift inside me. Not romantic, not dramatic, just steady. By the seventh day, I could walk slowly with assistance. The cardiologist recommended 2 more days for observation before discharge. That afternoon, my parents returned. Sun-kissed, rested, carrying a box of macadamia chocolates like proof of care. Mom kissed my cheek briskly. You look much better, good. We'll take you home today. The nurse at the desk looked confused. The doctor hasn't cleared discharge yet. Mom's tone sharpened. I'm her mother. Hospital policies are polite but immovable. The nurse requested identification and confirmed primary contact. Mom hesitated. Of course, it's me. The nurse typed something, frowned slightly, then said, it appears the emergency contact was updated on day 3. Mom blinked. Updated. When there was no family present for consent regarding medication adjustments, the patient authorized a proxy. Silence stretched. May I see the visitor log? Mom asked, voice still controlled. The nurse printed it calmly and slid it across the counter. I was close enough in my wheelchair to see my mother's smile begin to thin. The first 2 entries were hers and Dad's. Then nothing for 5 days. Below that, one name repeated in clean, consistent handwriting, Daniel Reyes, 70:03 p.m., 70:01 p.m., 7:05 p.m. every night. My mother's expression changed. Not dramatically, just recognition rearranging itself. He's just a coworker, she said, too quickly. The nurse responded neutrally. He's listed as temporary medical proxy during your absence. Authority doesn't shout. It prints records. Mom folded the paper carefully. We were out of state. I understand. The nurse said. I didn't feel triumph. I felt exposed. My father cleared his throat. We assumed you were stable. I was. I said quietly. Stable doesn't mean alone. That night Daniel came again. He hesitated when he saw my parents sitting stiffly beside the bed. I can come back tomorrow, he offered. No, I said. Stay. He sat on the other side of me. The space felt balanced in a way it hadn't before. My discharge was postponed 2 days. The doctor insisted on it, citing recovery protocol. My mother didn't argue again. When I finally left the hospital, I walked slowly through the sliding doors. My father carried my bag. My mother walked slightly behind me. Daniel waited near the curb, engine running, offering to drive me home. I paused. I'll go with him, I said. My parents didn't protest, they didn't need to. The hierarchy had shifted quietly in fluorescent lighting and printed ink. In the car, Daniel kept the radio low. You didn't have to list me, he said gently. I know, I replied. Outside the hospital, life moved at its usual speed. Traffic, noise, sunlight too bright after sterile halls. I wasn't angry anymore. Just aware, favoritism hadn't disappeared. It never does. But its authority had fractured, and for the first time, when I thought about who would show up if I fell again, I didn't picture a plane ticket being checked. I pictured a name written carefully. At the same time every night,